In the event that you missed it, Double St. John's has had a pretty good last handful of a month. Jerry Jackson, the head coach of the state champions, and Tyce McClain, who pretty much all he does is compete for state championships, kind enough to join me on vacation. I'm glad that I don't have to pay for any part of your vacation, but it's got to be – this is a heck of a week for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Everything from last week to the finals. It was a process where we just wanted to get after it and get ready to play in the state tournament. And very fortunate to have a good group of guys that we can go out and compete and play well, and it showed on the field for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we played St. Henry on Monday as a scrimmage, so that helped us a lot to get ready for state, as the break's like 9 to 10 days from regionals to state. So it's a break for sure, but it was nice to play those guys. Get closer with them. We actually hit in the batting cages with them for practice because it was like a little inter squad scrimmage we did. So that was nice. So it got us ready to play the teams we did.
Who won?
Well, we didn't even turn on the scoreboard, so I'm not sure.
Come on. No. You guys know who won. I'll text my guest right now and ask him.
I would say they may have scored more runs than us. That's all I can tell you.
I immediately knew the fact that he didn't say, no, we won. And they might have done pretty well. But how cool is that to be able to share that experience in that lead up to all of that? Because I know Waynedale, they played one of their scrimmages. They in Highland scrimmage, and there were a handful of teams that, hey, we're close. Let's get some work and maybe not let anybody know about it. But to just be able to share that with kids that, Tyce, for you, I mean, you've known and played against at high levels your entire life.
Yes, for sure. Like a bunch of those St. Henry guys I've played in other sports. I know a couple guys from golf. I know a lot of them succeeded in football, of course, winning state. So that was awesome just to see the competitive nature that we had in scrimmage, preparing ourselves for state. Sadly, they lost in the first game, but it helped prepare us, of course, to win the state championship. So, I mean, we're very grateful that they even took the time to drive 50 minutes our way to play us.
You just stand out in the field, though, at second base and look up at them and say, when does the small guy come into the lineup?
Yeah, I told one of their guys on second, I was like, it reminds me of the all-star picture with Aaron Judge and Jose Altuve right next to each other. So,
because it is really funny because, I mean, again, you talk about football, and I've seen them enough over the years, but I swear every time, I mean, you start off with a guy who's 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", and then it just kind of keeps going where you're like, where's the small guy batting like 100, 150 in the lineup? No, they're all 6'5" and batting 350 or more.
Correct.
Jerry, you've got to be happy, though, because no matter how that score goes, no matter how, you guys play or don't play, you don't have to look at the standings and go, yeah, they got us.
Yeah.
We're still playing at state.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the scrimmage was so important just to get live cuts. Live pitching, we had pitchers that we needed to get work done that if we needed them over the weekend, they were going to be ready. We wanted to keep our guys crisp. And then being able to scrimmage a MAC foe, we respect the heck out of anybody in the MAC, and they certainly get us ready for the big game, the big moment too.
Well, how odd is the whole thing? Because the sectional, the district, they're kind of spread out a little bit, and then you kind of go, all right, we have to play the regional and then eventually state in back-to-back days. Do you guys like how it sets out? Because you now have to go, all right, we have to think about this amount of pitches, we have to think about this amount of hits, or maybe things you wouldn't necessarily do when you would play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday during the year.
Yeah, that was one of the concerns even going into tournament, was the way the districts ended and how soon the regionals started. We put a game plan together to basically, we knew that we were going to have Cam or Andrew for the districts and regionals. I was worried about one of them not being able to pitch in the regionals just based off of the turnaround that we had from the districts, but us being able to go out and keep the games, or keep their pitch limits down with some decent leads, we were able to get them out of games and save their arms.
Yeah, I would say it was the best scenario possible for us. I knew that we had, I think, in my personal opinion, the best two pitchers in the state as a 1-2 combo. So I knew that we had a huge advantage on teams, especially with regionals being back to back, because we knew that we were going to face it too. And so I always say that we have 1A, 1B. So it's a 1A pitcher or 1B pitcher against their two, which already gives us an advantage when we're going into the game. So I loved how it played out for us, of course. And then that break, we were still able to keep them crisp, like Coach said, at the scrimmage. But I knew when we were back-to-back days, we would have 1-2 at state. We would be in a great spot.
Is it kind of funny, though, because I have gotten to talk to Cam and Andrew enough that I kind of know that they have that sibling rivalry of whether they admit it out loud or not. They're rooting for each other and all of that. But that fire in between the two of them that makes them so great of, no, I'm 1A. I'm going to go out. Cam had that great performance in the semis. Andrew, just based on how he is, he goes out and just lights up the first handful of innings in the finals of looking at the two of them going, like you said, yeah, we're going to be okay because they're going to try to outdo one another.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I'd say they'd outdo one another, but I would say they're for sure. Their competitive spirits are insane. I mean, I remember in the semifinal game against Tiffin, Coach came out, had a mound meeting, and he told Cam, he's like, all right, Cam, we're going to give you a shot. You got to get this out, or we're going to Andrew. And so I think he knew that when Coach said he's going to Andrew, he had as much comfortability in himself and Andrew that he was comfortable to get that out. And he got that out and actually finished the game, which then allowed Andrew to start in the finals. So I just think they rely on each other so much. He was patting his chest like, let's go, you got this, Cam. Andrew was doing that. And so I just think they trusted each other as much as in themselves as each other. So it was nice.
Jerry, though, true or false, Cam was not coming out of that game.
I think if we had a plan and we knew that we had Andrew in our back pocket just to go get one or two outs, but like Tyce said, when Cam knew that we had Andrew in his back pocket to come in, that just gave him more confidence in being able to go out and get that last two outs by himself there. And he's a bulldog when it comes to being able. He wants that ball in his hand. He wants to finish the game. Mm-hmm. That's his mentality.
You guys can give me whatever corporate answer you want, but I saw his face when you walked out there, where it could have easily ended with 2 seconds of go.
Yeah.
And I talked to him, and I got the impression after that game that unless something really bad happened, there's no way Cam was not finishing his last time.
I know. Yeah. I knew when I walked out there, he kind of turned his back, and you could see him pat his glove like, oh no, don't take me out of this game. But just having a conversation with the guys on the mound, just to kind of slow things down, regroup, and get those last two outs. That's all we were looking for.
But it's so cool though too to be able to have a kid who's that much of a competitor and that good that you can kind of go out there. And I always ask coaches all the time, do you go out to the mound and talk about baseball? And a lot of them are like, nah, sometimes I just know that I have to go out to just give the kid 30 seconds to breathe and kind of reset his mind. It's cool though, because it's piggyback on what Tyce said about 1A and 1B, those two guys, you have those two guys, they know how they can get themselves out of it. They just kind of have to be able to refocus and see it, I would think.
Yeah, they trust their defense too behind them. That's the confidence, because all we want these guys to do is to pound the strike zone, keep them off balance, and let our defense get outs. Because these guys aren't going to strike out every batter, so you have to rely on our defense to go out and get outs. And I like the way our defense is built around these pitchers.
Tyce, that last couple of rounds that curveball Cam was throwing, are you hitting it?
I mean, it's really good. I think I put bat to ball on it. I mean, I don't know where it's going to go, but I'd say I can hit it, yes.
All right, that's fair. It's just such a crazy run. I mean, Jerry's now got himself, I would imagine, a full-time table at the Rustic that he and Coach Elwer can just hang out. I've been asked if I can, come by and kiss the ring, but how great have you're on vacation, so obviously it's good, but had the last couple of days been, it's got to be such a cool experience to finish off the year that way.
Yeah, for sure. It's It was just a surreal moment when you realize you're state champs, and then you kind of settle in. It's kind of sinking in now, just over the last 2 days, being able to relax. I knew when I got on the bus and we headed back to Delphus on Saturday, and my phone was just blowing up.
Sorry
No,
about that.
it's good. That's a good problem to have. But actually, yesterday at some point, I finally was able to answer or reply back to all text messages. So I think I replied to everybody. It had to have been over 100 of them.
Tyce, you have to just get home and have a flashback. I mean, it was 3 months ago when you guys did this the last time of, you know what, 12:30 at night, the streets are packed. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it took a minute to settle in, of course. We just actually were watching the game upstairs while eating breakfast. So it was nice to just see the game on TV and stuff like that. And I would say too, like the bus ride for me was awesome, just like basketball was. But baseball was a little bit more special to me because I knew we went into the season a little bit as an underdog. So there was only like 1 out of 6 guys on prep baseball Ohio to say that we would win state. And so everyone thought Tippin was going to win it. So to win that first game and get it done, it was awesome. So I'm just so glad we could do it.
It's possible that I may have stopped at their booth on the way out, which was 2 down from me, and may have given them guff about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jerry, you've been around baseball so many times. 11 was the last time you guys had that real big shot, lost to Springfield in the semis. That baseball is a beautiful and stupid game because you can have the best team on paper and not always make it there because you still have to hit a round object with a round object and do it well enough in every weird scenario to just even get anywhere near here.
Yeah, that's part of the whole process is understanding the game. The game of baseball is and I think in the movie Moneyball is romantic, and we think of that every day when we go on that diamond, that it's a sport that we truly love and compete in, and being around a bunch of guys that just love the game and play it so well. It's fun to go out and just be able to let these guys play the game and be able to compete. And baseball the way it jumps around, it can find a hole or a gap, and then their game's going to change at one at bat.
Yeah, so for me, I would just say Coach was talking about the whole year peaking at the right time. So I think we peaked at the right time. We were playing our best baseball throughout tournament, ending the season 9-0 after a little bit of a rocky middle part to the season. I mean, we started off hot, 7-0, and then we started losing a couple games. We got down, but we were lifted right back up once Coach had a hard talk with us after the Lincoln game when we played there. And I just think it flipped a switch for us, and we were playing great baseball. And like you saw in the semifinal game, our first 5 guys went 0 for 18, 0 for 19 from the plate. But when we have confidence 1 through 9 in our lineup, I mean, the bottom of our 4 or 5 guys came in clutch and they had some big time hits, and they actually secured all 6 of our hits. So, I mean, it's awesome to have 110% confidence like Coach has in us and our players 1 through 9. So it was nice. We just played together and as one. And so always as we break it off, we either say BJB for Blue Jay Baseball or together or family. So to have that and come together as one and get it done, it was nice.
I know this has been asked a million times, but I'm always fascinated with the process of this. Tyce, you guys don't have really any time from the time you win the state championship, you come home, you celebrate. It's 2 days later, and all of a sudden it's baseball season. You come out hot. How did you guys as baseball players kind of get together and go, hey, all right, that's cool and all. We're getting rings. We'll do all that later, but we need to go get in the cage right now and hit the ball. What was the time frame?
Yeah, so actually after basketball, our guys, of course, we want to take a little bit of a break just to rest our bodies and stuff, but we had a meeting with Coach, and literally was the second day after our state championship game, and coach was like, I mean, we got a scrimmage tomorrow. And we all looked at each other. We were like, what are you talking about? We have a scrimmage tomorrow. Like, we even picked up a bat or ball because we've been focused on basketball and throughout tournament. But he's like, yeah, we got a scrimmage tomorrow. We're like, we're not playing. And he's like, yeah, you guys are. And we're like, okay. So we stepped up on the field. I mean, I was just happy enough to make contact with the ball, and I knew some of our guys' arms were sore and everything. We were just figuring stuff out. But as practice went on, we got a lot more reps and stuff. And I mean, something just clicked right at the beginning of the season. I think it was part of missing the sport and also coming off the state championship in basketball and wanting to do that in baseball. I just think it gave us an extra drive to want to get it done. So it was a real hot start to the season going 7-0.
Jared, did you think, I mean, obviously with the run of the state championship in basketball of, all right, I'm going to go this day before I approach them and tell them about all of the things I now need them to do because now they're my kids.
Yeah. I know we try to give these guys a break between sports, but I know going into that first week of baseball where these guys needed to get back on the diamond, and I knew I had to push somewhere to find a way to get these guys to the diamond. So we set up our team picture that day.
Yep.
And I had them all in uniform. They weren't going to practice, but we were just putting our team photo together. And that's when they found out, hey, by the way, guys, there is a scrimmage tomorrow. So you're playing. We're just going to go out. I don't care what it's going to look like. Just get on that diamond and get started.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you come out of the gate with those 7 wins, I mean, double digits right out of the gate at Shawnee, at Jefferson, not traditionally easier places to play. You end up with that win against Knoxville. Is the feeling after the 11-0 win against New Knoxville midway in April of this team could be something special?
Yeah, I knew that at the end of last year. Obviously, we lost in the district finals to Minster 1-0. And they go on and win the whole Division VII state championship. So we were close last year, but I knew the nucleus of the team was coming back for this 2026 season. And you just had a feeling we had the guys, we had the dudes, we knew we had ball players ready to go. The big thing was just keep everybody healthy, keep them competitive, and keep building confidence because we knew we wanted to peak at the right time. So we knew going into this year that we had a special team.
All right, you open up the door to the Minster game last year. Just an insane performance. Tyce, is there a part of you, whether you're standing in the on-deck circle or when you're playing second base, of just watching this pitching matchup going, oh, I need to be part of this. These two dudes are they're just dealing.
100%. I mean, it's the best pitching duel I've ever seen. Probably one of the best games I've ever been a part of. And for them to go at it back and forth, Lewis and Cam, I mean, it was an amazing feeling because I knew in the field, like, I was going to get a lot of action, but I knew if I made plays, I'd help our team out. And I knew that Lewis was dicing. So he was throwing really well, and they were just going back and forth, 0-0. Sadly, I mean, we lost on a walk-off hit, and Cam just ran out of pitches. So, I mean, we were so close, and I knew at the end of that game, like, if we get past this game, I know we have a great chance because I feel like last year, if we got past that game, we would have had a great chance to win state again. But sadly, we didn't. So coming into this year, it just gave us that extra motivation to get it done.
I just can't imagine in the dugout. Obviously, you guys have Game Changer, you have a statue, you have everything. Of somebody has to be doing the math in there of, all right, Cam's got to get this guy out on this pitch. He's got to get that guy. And then, Jerry, you have to go out there and tell him, hey, kid, that's you don't have any more pitches left. You're going to need to move over. That had to be a fun conversation.
Well, yeah, there's times when our pitchers know, all right, you're at 100 pitches. Next inning, they may go out. You go, hey, Cam, you've got 118 pitches you're at right now. So stay out there, try to get through the inning as quick as possible, and hope like hell they swing early and counts. But they know ahead of time what's going on. And when you go out there, and I knew last year when I went out and took Cam out of the game, he was spent. He worked his butt off, and he did everything he could to go out there and compete and give our team a chance to win. But, sometimes you run out of pitches, but we always have a next guy ready to go. So it's a process, but the guys understand what they need accomplish.
Tyce, this year's title game, you go up there, you have a chance to put the game on ice.
Mm-hmm.
Just got underneath the pitch that was a fly out to right.
Yeah.
I thought for sure, sitting back and down the line, I thought for sure that ball was going to drop. When it went off the bat, it has to be in slow motion. Where did you think it was going?
I 100% thought it was down. I hit it decent, really good contact, just carried it. It sailed a little bit too far. But I thought I hit a line drive right over the second baseman. So right off the bat, I could hear the crowd. But when he caught it, I guess I knew it wasn't my time for that moment there. And I'm just so glad it was another senior, Maddox, that hit our walk-off. So, I mean, I'm just as happy for him as I would have been if I would have got the hit too. So I was for sure upset about it in the moment, but once we got the job done and Maddox had that hit, I was ecstatic for him. So
no matter what happens in that game, there's going to be a little bit of history because either they're going to win for the first time in just over 50 years or you guys are going to win the first one. Jerry, how good is your relationship? We call him Hank. With him, of him being able to be a lifelong baseball guy, you guys kind of appreciating, hey, we've had good teams, didn't get breaks, whatever. We're here, Northwest Ohio's on the map, small school baseball, of just kind of you and Darren Henry going back and forth during that 24 hours leading up to that game.
Well, we had a game plan even the day of the state finals. We got our guys up.
I'm almost done.
And we even found a local park in Cuyahoga Falls.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a park that had an open field, and we had everything packed for the whole weekend. So we had baseballs. We had a pop-up where we basically made an L screen out of it. But we had guys getting cuts at 10:30 in the morning, all the way up to about noon. They were just out there, just relaxing, getting themselves prepped for the game at 4:00. But they were locked in when they went out to even to the batting practice. So they were having fun. They probably wished the game was then, but just getting live swings was key, and just getting these boys ready. And they proved it on the field on Saturday.
I'm just picturing you guys driving around in a bus, just looking for an open field.
Well, it sort of was. We had already sent 2 coaches out, and with their Google Maps opened just to look above and see if they could find a diamond from the air on Google Maps, and then they went to 3 different spots. In fact, the one that we did find, we had to go under a railroad track, which was a 12-foot bridge. So we were concerned about the bus even fitting underneath the bridge. If we had to, we were just going to park it, and the guys were just going to walk to the diamond. But it was a process just to get the job done.
I'm just picturing all of that, how that headline would have read. St. John's loses bus, wins state title.
Yeah, right.
We're going to need you guys to send us another bus. People have asked, and Tyce, Chase Etcher and I talked about this. For you, I mean, you go the entire year playing in state championships with golf, and then you go basketball and baseball. Have you had a second to kind of take that in of, wow, that I don't know that anybody's going to have a senior year that's going to go that way?
I would say, I mean, not really yet. Just coming off the state championship, like it's starting to settle in, like now being here on vacation, but I know I'll feel a little bit later in the summer. But I'm so grateful for the season I've had in all 3 sports, like you said, throughout golf, making it to state, breaking a couple of school records and stuff like that. And then basketball, being able to contribute to our team to win another state championship. And then baseball too as well, leading off for us and playing infield a key role, just trying to be a leader of what I can do, pump up the guys, everything like that. So to play in 3 state championships, I mean, it was an awesome feeling, of course, like, because I know I'm not going to play another baseball game, another basketball game again. So to end it the way I did in both those sports felt amazing. I wouldn't want to go out any other way, especially alongside some of my other buddies and seniors that I've been playing with since I was little, even on travel baseball. It's just a great feeling to see them. And I knew what it felt like to go through town playing. I think this was like my 7th state appearance. But to see the other guys, to see the other guys' faces was an awesome feeling. I mean, I remember seeing one of my buddies. So Drake Fitro, his face and excitement of holding up our state trophy going through town was it almost brought me to tears. Like I was tearing up just seeing them because like I knew like how much it meant to all these guys to win it, and just to be a part of it made it even better.
Well, it is a really cool thing because, again, I'm obviously very partial to small schools. And, I had this conversation with my wife for a long time because she's from the Cleveland area. So it's much different. And I said, you just don't understand what it means for these kids who have been together they pretty much from day one of kindergarten or preschool. It's been the exact same kids over and over and over to be able to share that with your buddies, like you're saying. And it's just such a neat thing. And then especially that dynamic of, Lipstick's going to be the exact same way. So here's 35, 40 kids who all they know is each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like you guys cross over in a ton of sports, but here we are again, Delta St. John's trying to ruin Putnam County's party.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the nicest way, of course.
Yeah, right. For sure. But, obviously they're competing. They want to win. We want to win. It's, at the end of the day, there's a winner and then there's a loser, but obviously you're going to go out and just try to play and compete as hard as you can. And like we said before, baseball is a funny sport because not everyone on paper, you may be able to predict the winner, but it doesn't mean you're going to win. There's no guarantees. That's why you have to play the game. And just fortunate we had some guys that went out and just played well, and we trusted each other. I'm sure the players trusted each other too with the coaches, and it was a heck of a run. And we're excited to be the last team standing.
Tyce, you mentioned earlier about baseball being a little different from basketball in that everybody picked you guys from the beginning of the season in basketball, and we see what they have coming back. We see what these kids are, and we know what they're going to do. But baseball was different in that, you mentioned it, people were picking Calvert, and there was a lot of that. Was there anything extra for you guys as a program going into that game of, all right, we have something to prove here, or was it just, this is the next game for us, this is what we do?
No, 100%. We had a flyer hanging up in our locker room that it came out with pre-state rankings before the season even started. And we weren't even on the top 15 teams. So seeing that piece of paper was our motivation the whole year to prove a point that we belonged in the top of the division, I thought, because of course I thought at the beginning of the season we were the best team in Division 7 in the whole state. So to see us not even get a single vote of the top 15 teams, I mean, it hurt deeper down. So it just gave us that extra motivation every day. And we knew that seeing rankings all over the place, we were like, where's Delta St. John's? Where are we at? We're 7-0. We're still struggling to get higher up in the ranks. So we just knew going in every game, we're going to give it our all, win as many as we can. And I mean, coming out with a 21-win season is awesome. So I just think that being an underdog throughout the season just gave us an extra drive and push to get towards the final goal of winning state.
Jerry, you lose a terrific senior class. You've got some dudes who are coming back. I mean, your pitching staff is bolstered by one of the best kids in the MAC and, of course, in the state. And he just showed it during the state finals. How hard is it to lose this senior class, and how excited are you, though, about the class you'll have coming back because of what they can accomplish now with that little bit of extra, hey, look what we can do?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we have basically five returning starters, and I'm including our backup catcher, AJ Martz, who stepped in and had to catch about 3 or 4 games, even into the tournament, just because Drake Fitro twisted his ankle towards the end of the season. So we gave him about 2 weeks off, and AJ stepped in and was a great player behind the plate. And I'm excited to have him behind the plate here for the next 3 years. But just knowing that we have some arms coming back for sure is a plus. There's a sophomore class that's coming in, a junior class that's coming up. There's a few guys in there I know that are going to be wanting to step up and be the next man. So it's exciting that we have a future for sure with baseball. But right now they're going to come out next year, and I'm sure like I told him, even on Saturday, I said, now the guys coming back next year, you're going to have a bullseye on your back. So everybody's going to come after you. So just be ready to go. But the 9 seniors that we graduated and moved on, a great group of guys that just led by leadership, and it showed even in the dugout, in practices, on the field. Didn't matter where, these 9 seniors just wanted to have fun because they liked being around everyone.
I've often maintained that I'm probably horribly biased, that catchers are the smartest and toughest dudes on the team. How hard was that to just make Drake sit for 2 weeks? Because I know a little bit how he is, and he had to have just hated it.
Oh, yeah. When he got cleared, basically, when he got the walking cast off, or the walking boot,
Yeah.
He came to me that day and wanted to play. And I told him, I said, excuse me. I told him, I said, look, I know you're a competitor, but let's be smart about this. If you have any setbacks, we may end up losing you for the season. So just take your time. We got a plan. So basically, it worked out. He came back. He was able to play in the last 5 games, 6 games, and so he's definitely a spitfire when it comes to even being in the dugout or behind the plate or even off the field, even in the locker room. He's, where if you hear him, he's close.
Is that the hardest thing though as a coach? I mean, a guy who's been around baseball and understands it, to protect kids from themselves?
Yeah. He's the guy we always have to kind of calm him down a little bit, but he gets excited, and he's loud, and but he loves just being around the game. He loves everybody on the team. I think he's one of the guys that he works his butt off, and he's having fun, but he's definitely going to be missed.
Now, again, I could be wrong. This could have been a rule that was put in place just for me, but I always had baseball coaches tell me that I wasn't allowed to play golf during the season because it made my baseball swing horrible. How hard is that for you, Tyce? I mean, you're going to golf in college to not get around in whenever and maybe take Cam and make fun of his swing and put it on social media.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's tough for sure. They're 2 separate swings, but I think they actually relate a lot to each other. So throughout baseball season, really, I was still at the golf course 5-6 days a week. I'd go to baseball practice, go to the golf course after, whatever. But I make sure, and something I suggest if you're playing both baseball and golf in the same season, to always end with the sport that you're in. So every night I'd go back to the cage, how late it was. It could be 10 or 11, just to get some cuts in for baseball. If I was in golf season and I was hitting baseballs, I just end with going to the range at night or whatever before it gets dark. So ending with the sport and the season you're in, and then going to bed thinking about that helped me out tremendously throughout season too. But it's a lot for sure. Days are long, playing 18 holes, then going to practice. Some days have games at night. So it gets to be a lot, but I mean, sports really is my life. So I love balancing it too, lifting too. But I love both of them, and I'll for sure miss baseball. But it's a challenge for sure to have 2 swings during one season.
Are you selling bottles of your energy, or can I get some of that, or how does that work?
I mean, for sure.
I'm tired just listening to all the things that you were doing every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Some days are late nights and early mornings. I'm working too this summer. So, I mean, it gets really busy just trying to be around family, friends, girlfriend before I leave off for college. So balancing a lot throughout the day. So it takes a schedule, but I mean, if you're around me, you'll feel my energy. So if you ever need whatever you want, I'll for sure sell you some of my energy.
Well, bragging while you're on vacation, have you tried to make yourself slow down, or are you just out there doing laps and hitting balls into the ocean?
A little bit of both, actually. So I went on a run, worked out yesterday morning, but it's just so nice to relax for most of the day. finally take a step back from reality and just be able to look at the ocean and everything, hear the waves, take a nap. I mean, it feels so good to rest because I've been go these last 3 seasons.
Well, it looks like Jerry went to the beach and took a nap already, or he's about to get one. Just kind of listen to what you're saying.
Yeah, no, it's relaxing. In fact, I think we got tea time tomorrow, so we are golfing tomorrow here in the Outer Banks. But it's going to be fun. I just want to go out and I know Tyce is gonna be swinging he's going to be playing in the fairways while I'm playing in the rough. He's probably going to laugh at my swing.
Tyce, while you're in the OBX, are you hunting for treasure?
See, here's the thing. I love the show, but I'm not going to be hunting for treasure.
I don't think it's going to go as well. Plus, it didn't work well for the older people. So, I'm glad that you got that, by the way, because I was like, man, I'm going to take a chance that he's actually watching that show.
Yep.
How fun is it? Just you're around the same kids, and Jerry, I wouldn't think as much maybe because this group is so close, the senior group and the juniors, that you have to say as much to them because it kind of seems like they can kind of regulate themselves a little bit.
Oh yeah, I had the utmost respect for all of them. It was all about this year was just keeping them focused. They were going to take care of everything on the field. You just have to just get the reps, get the swings. Everybody needed to see live pitching. Pitchers had to work on the mound. They got side work. It's just keeping everybody fine-tuned, keep their skills crisp, and just let them go out and play the game. I just write up a lineup. Here's where you're playing, and they go out and do the work.
I got to think, too, though, with the fact that the park is right next to the pool, you have to keep them from hitting a foul ball and then just disappearing for like 20 minutes during practice when it gets warmer.
Well, that only kicks in like the middle of May to June, because in springtime in Ohio, you don't get many warm days. They're cold, they're chilly, they're windy. It's brutal out there some days when you're playing in April and it feels like it's 40 degrees outside.
Well, that is true. Plus, Delphos has its own weather pattern.
Yeah, sure.
I'm swearing most days, anytime I've ever been over there. Tyce, I have to ask you this because I bring this up to you all the time. Why are you a Duke fan?
Why am I a Duke fan?
Yeah.
So, actually, we have a place down in
I imagine.
What'd you say?
You lost a bet, I'd imagine.
See, no. Actually, I've been a Duke fan my whole life. It really comes from my dad and his dad. So my grandpa, we have a place down in Pinehurst, North Carolina. And so we've been to Raleigh plenty of times and stuff. But, I mean, going to indoor at Duke is the best feeling. I've seen their baseball field, been to a basketball game. So I fell in love with the school. It's probably my dream school since I was real little. I remember being
Other than Mercyhurst, of course.
Yes, Mercyhurst, of course. But being 3 or 4 years old, going on the baseball diamond, I just knew it was my place and I loved it. So I fell in love with the team. Was a huge Zion Williamson fan when he played. Loved Cooper Flagg. So I've been an old-time fan, but my dad really brought the love of Duke to me.
That is the most ridiculous sentence I've ever heard. I've been an old-time fan, and you reference Zion Williamson.
I mean, yeah, I'm not that old now, so I can't.
There's some. As a Carolina fan, I just can't. Do you have yourself some Zion shoes then?
I do not have Zion shoes, but I do have a shirt, a blackout Duke shirt with his number on the back too. But he's for sure one of my favorite players when he was back in his prime.
Duke and St. John's Blue, pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
How did you end up with all the Carolina Blue accessories then?
Yeah. Actually,
it's coming out, bro. Just embrace it.
Yeah. So baby blue is actually my favorite color.
I'm sorry. I think you said that wrong. It's called Carolina Blue.
Okay. Carolina Blue is my favorite color. But during basketball season, I asked coach during the preseason if I was able to get these shoes. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. So he said it fit my personality well. I remind of like Russell Westbrook when he goes into practice with a bunch of different outfits on and stuff like that. So I wanted to have a pretty cool shoe. So I decided to pick those up for this year. And then also the tape on my left leg is the Carolina Blue. So it's just my favorite color in general.
Just come on home.
Yeah.
I got a signed Carolina basketball if you would like that.
Yeah.
Has a coach I'm not all that big of a fan of in Hubert Davis, but guess that's a whole other thing. No, it's just really funny. I don't know why it broke me during basketball season when it finally came to a realization. You said it, someone else said, he's a Duke fan, right?
Yeah.
I even said it on the air. I was like, I used to really like that kid. But it is so much fun. A lot of the attention will go to you guys as seniors, but who's the guy that not enough people talk about on your team where you just light up when you talked about maybe, the hype with Drake, where I've seen a lot of guys, and Coach talked about AJ Martz and, Aiden Swick. I love watching him and just these guys. Who's the guy that you go, why don't more people talk about this dude? He's awesome.
I personally think that's Andrew Elwer for me. So Andrew was a what was he? Honorable mention. No, was he second team? Honorable mention. Honorable mention in the MAC for baseball. And I thought he was one of the best pitchers in the league. I mean, he showed it that he was the best pitcher in the state. So I personally think he deserved the first honors of being a first team All MAC pitcher. But I would say Andrew, of course, he gets hyped with media and stuff for basketball of the career he's had so far. But I think throughout baseball, he deserved a lot more honor and stuff than he got. So I think for me, it's Andrew. He's also had the most RBIs on our team this year. He's had a ton of hits, ton of clutch ABs for us. So, and also just relying on him on the mound too. I mean, you throw your 1A, I guess you could say, in the state semi game, and then being as confident with him in the state finals game, I think he deserved a little bit more hype than he got.
For me, I'm gonna share two guys because they shared the same batting order and DH in the lineup, and it's two guys. It's Braden Klaus and Maddox Kreger. Those two really they're senior leaders, obviously, but with Maddox, it's nice to have a lefty in the lineup. He's a good guy. He's going to go out and compete. He's harder on himself than anybody else, but he's a fun guy to be around. With his swing, with him being able to get that walk-off hit to win the state finals, I was so happy for him. He deserved that. He had some issues with his shoulder back when he was a freshman. Had surgery on his, was it labrum?
Yeah, labrum.
So he tore his labrum. So he's never been able to throw like he used to. So he's limited on where he can play, and just having him in the lineup, and then with Braden Klaus in center field playing defense, running fly balls down, making throws to home, throwing out runners. Those two combined just helped our team tremendously.
Whether it's going through all the press that was done at the end of basketball season or with the success this year, I guess for both of you guys, was there a guy, though, that when he went to be interviewed, you kind of went, I don't know how this is going to go. Maybe I should just wait and see? Because I know there's one guy. I have a couple of them in mind, but I know there's probably one or two guys where they're not used to being interviewed, so you don't know what they're going to say.
For me, I would for sure say Aiden Swick. I love that kid, but when he gets to press or media or whatever, I have no clue what's coming out of his mouth. We give him crap in the locker room sometimes too, because when he has to think on the fly, it's just a little bit too quick, and he'll be too fast to talk, or he won't even know what he's saying, and he'll come to us after the interview and be like, I hope he makes that sound better than what I sounded like. So I would say Aiden for me.
Yeah, well, at the championship game there, I think Hank Wappel got interviewed.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was his life dream to get interviewed by somebody, and I didn't know what he was going to say, but it was good. It was pretty cool that he got time with the media to answer questions. So proud of Hank and where he was and on the team and his role. And he's a good guy. He just sometimes, he's like Aiden. You don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. You don't even know what he's thinking. And if he is thinking, is he thinking out loud? So it was good on Hank's part to get some time with some interviewers.
Well, I mean, he did have that pinch run, so that got him the opportunity. Hey,
Correct.
was it Colton Clark who was warming up out in the bullpen at one point out in right field?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Colts. He's our number 3. And we were every game he was prepared to go out there if we needed him. Obviously, with the way both Cam and Andrew was pitching, we really didn't have to use them, but we knew we had somebody that could step up in a big moment to get outs and throw strikes. Because he ate up a lot of innings this year. I think he threw close to 40 innings, and he really didn't get a chance to pitch in the final 4 games at all because our pitchers in all 4 games threw complete games.
Well, because it was interesting midway through the game when he got up and I saw him for the first time. I was texting back and forth with some people calling the game, and they said, is he out there warming up because he doesn't think Andrew's getting through this, or because he's just bored at this point? He wants to get up and kind of enjoy the weather.
No, my assistant coach, my son, he's always the one that's kind of keeping me abreast of where Andrew's pitch count was, because in the 4th inning, he was getting in that point where we were, okay, he's at 80 pitches, probably a little bit higher than what I wanted at that point, but we knew we had to have somebody ready if any of those wheels were going to fall off. We didn't want to be caught behind the 8 ball without anybody warming up, because the other pitchers are all in the lineup. And then if we knew they were coming in to hit and they were on deck, there was no way of getting those guys warmed up. So we wanted to make sure we were proactive on having an arm ready.
That double play, though, that Andrew pulls off where he snags the line drive and then throws the runner who was just completely befuddled because of the way that he caught it at third. Who's more hype for that, Tyce? You coming out or him? Because he had this look of, I can't believe he hit it at me. Or he was trying to be cool about, I can't believe I caught it. I asked him afterwards, I talked to him and Cam, and he kind of said, I just immediately I had to realize, I still have to make this play. Who's more hype, you or him?
I mean, I bet we're about equal, but I personally think Andrew shows more emotion in baseball than he does basketball. I just got done saying that upstairs, but I'd love to see him get rowdy and stuff, how he's tripping in the dugout. When he makes a good play, comes off the mound, throws a good inning, he gets all excited. I love that. But, I mean, in that moment, I was just as excited as he was, I think, because I'm jumping up and down, knowing it's probably one of the biggest plays of the game. And I knew that, right when he caught it, that he was going to throw a seed to the third baseman, and he had that play in the bag. So it was nice to watch.
Every time you guys come off, as seniors, obviously it's the last something or other. You get to walk off the field that last time as a state champion, but the last defensive inning, when you come out, are you just kind of like, wow, we're going to do this. This is going to be a thing. This is just, it's like the basketball tournament where the time is counting down now of, all right, can I stay reserved for a couple of minutes here?
Yeah. So my thought process is kind of just like golf. It's one hole at a time, one inning at a time, one quarter at a time. So I'm not really thinking ahead, just trying to play in the moment, because I know that mistakes might happen if I think ahead to the end of the game and we got this in the bag. We're going to win easy. Well, every time we talked in the huddle before we went to hit after our defensive inning, we would say, all right, hits and runs on 3. And then we'd be like, let's go, stay locked in, stay in the moment, play in the present time, don't look ahead. So even being up 7-0, 8-0, 9-0, we were just like, let's take it one step at a time, just get the job done.
Well, because you have to know, I mean, Lipsick is that team. They've had those comebacks. They beat Montpelier, and they're up on Montpelier, and people are saying, well, how did this happen? Well, they made plays. They did the exact same thing in the semis, and I saw, Jerry, it looked like a couple of the boys had a long night. I mean, Cam obviously flying in and getting there at 11:30 the night before, but it looked like maybe halfway through that Lipsick game, as you guys are watching it, you had some dudes that just needed a nap.
Well, I think for the most part, those guys they had a plan. I think, obviously, even if they didn't sleep or they got plenty of sleep, one way or another, they were ready to go, ready to win something that day. And every one of them was just waiting for an opportunity to do their part. And I'm just so fortunate that they stayed true to their plan, whether they were tired or they were hyped up. or even drinking an energy drink, even after the batting practice. I know guys were trying to get themselves ready to go, but they were going to be ready to go if they had 0 hours of sleep or 10 hours, one way or another. They were ready to go.
Tyce, were you just trying to find a mini golf or something to get some swings in?
Yeah, so actually that was like probably the longest break I took. It was like 3 days of not touching the golf club. But when coach said that we were going to play down here at Outer Banks, I knew that in a couple of days I would have a club in my hand. So I was just trying to get the job done and baseball how we wanted to, and then get to the course.
Are you giving him a couple of shots? How does that work?
It depends what we're going to do. I bet we'll do a little fun game tomorrow maybe. But I'm going to probably give him some shots if we want to play competitive. But I think tomorrow we're just going out, having fun. So we'll see.
But see, you graduated. He can treat you like an adult now.
I mean, you're right. You're right. I'm not for sure. I don't think I'll bet with him. But if we do,
of course not.
Yeah, I mean, like I've always said, we played together just in baseball and golf. So if we had a team up, I think we could play against a couple other guys, but I want to go against them.
What are you bad at? Like video games or like chess? I mean,
what am I bad at?
Yeah, it's got to be something.
Fortnite.
I am.
I got a great one. I am a terrible ice skater. I cannot skate on ice to save my life. I will probably not skate in a while. I tried it when I was younger, went out with full speed and fell on my butt. So I'm a terrible ice skater, and I'm not great at video games either.
Okay, ice skating of all the things is not where I thought that was going to end up. I love in one of Cam's interviews, he talks about how you guys go out on the golf course and you don't help him get better. You just make fun of him. Is this true?
I mean, I've tried, but I actually give lessons to like 4 or 5 kids, a couple from Delphus, a couple from Van Wert, and all of them are before freshmen. I mean, the oldest one I have is an 8th grader. So like I am able to work at a younger age with them, fix their swings, help them out. But when Cam has a 16-year baseball swing, it's very hard to get rid of his slice because I'll tell him a thing, he'll hit a couple beautiful shots, and then he'll go right back to what his feels comfortable with. So it's hard to fix. So I wouldn't say I've given up, but I'm dang close to say, all right, Cam, you either got to adjust and change it or just keep on hitting your 40-yard slice. So
This is South Carolina. He's someone else's problem now.
I know, exactly.
He's one of the other guys' problem. I didn't see that coming. I'm still befuddled by the ice skating thing. There's a big pond in Delphus that I guess I missed. What's it hitting you though? I mean, you're done at St. John's. Last game, you're 100% done now. You're getting ready. You're getting ready to go up to college and into Pennsylvania. I've been to that area a handful of times. Did a couple football games there. But how much are you just kind of looking back at it of, wow, like that's, I mean, have you had your grad party yet?
I'm actually not doing a grad party.
Oh, so just send straight Venmo and cash to you then?
I guess I'm going to send out invoices and stuff to help pay for college, of course, too. But I am not having a graduation party. Just super busy this summer.
I guess I'll just go on vacation instead.
I guess, yeah. It's a great graduation present.
But have you gotten to look back at any of that a little bit of, wow, my 4 years here, that's done. We did some pretty cool things.
100%. I mean, I'll for sure miss everyone throughout my grade and the whole high school and stuff, leaving some of my closest friends and not seeing them for a while, actually, because, of course, Cam's my closest friend, too, at school, and him being gone back at Furman, I mean, I won't see him until August now before I leave, and he comes back for a week or two. So it's tough, for sure, but, I mean, we stay in contact, talk a lot, and do what we can, but, I mean, just taking in the moments of what I've got to experience with all my close buddies and family and stuff throughout the last 4 years, I've been thinking about it every day. I mean, it's for sure emotional, but just knowing that ending my sports career in both basketball and baseball with the state championships is the best way to go out. So, I mean, I'm more grateful than sad to these leaving high school of these last 4 years. And I know that I didn't finish as well as I wanted to at the golf state tournament, but knowing that I have 4 more years left, I'm just ready to come back and then being able to finish how I did in the other two, basketball and baseball, I mean, it's the best way to go out. So I'm for sure going to miss it too, especially with baseball. I actually wanted to play baseball until I was like 15 years old. My freshman year of high school, in college, I wanted to play baseball.
What's up, baby? Couple more minutes.
So I'm going to miss it dearly and too, but I'm ready for the next step.
Is that a fire for you, though, a little bit? Because the one thing you didn't excel, so to speak, in that you didn't win the state championship is your actual love in your main sport of or is it going into college? It's just going to be such a different thing anyways.
100%. I mean, going into golf, we saw pre-state rankings on paper. And so I was ranked as the number one golfer. So having that target on my back throughout the whole year, it's tough. It's a lot of pressure for sure. And I was playing well going throughout tournament. I mean, fired like 5 under the sectionals, districts. I shot even, won both sectionals and districts, went into state with confidence, practice, really, really hard. And I mean, I had a decent first round and I just folded my last round of state. So it's tough finishing in the worst of my favorite sport. I finished in the worst spot for golf, but now it just fuels my fire even more during the summer to get better before I go off.
It was pointed out about my current getting golf lessons. I think Cam and I are pretty much the same. I don't feel like that would be a good use of your time, unless it's putt-putt. But then,
yeah.
I want to know. There was a big thing during the basketball tournament about parents and a TikTok and videos. Where can I find the secret video stash of Jerry doing the scuba during the year?
Oh, boy, hell, I'd do it.
I mean, Coach
There's
Jackson
no way he got through the whole season without doing at least one of these, right?
I mean, Coach Jackson was for sure dancing in the locker room before pregame and stuff and at practice because we're always messing around, having fun. But I don't really recall Coach J doing the scuba this year. That was more of Coach Elwer's thing throughout basketball season.
Well, maybe he can teach him at their private table.
Yeah, I know.
How much fun, though, has being around him and his staff? I mean, he gets to coach with his son. Just being around to get that knowledge, but just being around him as a human being.
Yeah, 100%. I love Coach Jackson, too, with the rest of the staff. I mean, it's been an honor to be able to be coached by these guys, and I think Coach Aaron Sherman was a huge add for us. He brought in another baseball mind for us. He experienced what it was like playing at the next level, and he was a winner. He's a competitor for sure. He's helped us through many games of just the mental side of things. Really, he's always uplifting, and he's very positive, too. And Coach Buddy, we have Colin Will, Devin Sanders, Tony Sanders, and Gavin Fitro, too, on our coaching staff. So a bunch of young guys who have lived through the program and been through the program at Delta St. John. So they just know they're key baseball minds for all of us. They each bring something to the table for our team to help us win and give us the best chance. So we have a great plan, and we're very prepared before every game thanks to those guys. So, I mean, it's been a great last 4 years. I remember my freshman year going to Coach Jackson, and I was ready to play varsity, and I went up to him, and I was like, Coach Jay, can you give me a chance? And then now looking back on it, he's trusted me. We've built trust over the years and stuff like that. So as I always preach, and Cam and Coach Howard did this, and so does my dad, the best teams are player-led teams. So Coach having 110% confidence in us that we were going to get it done every game, and he could just sit back and take the minute to, like you said, make the lineups and just trust in his players that we're going to get it done. It's the best feeling for him because he doesn't have to stress out about it.
Jerry, one of the old things that I've seen is when guys have D1 pitchers, they will have them throw from a baseline or from end line to end line of just kind of trying to psych the other team out. You guys went a completely different way. You brought the father out to throw and get warmed up. I mean, that right there had to pretty much say, this is going our way, right?
Yeah, Father Hunyer was obviously he played baseball, even in high school. He went on and played at Owens College in Toledo, and then obviously he's a sports-minded priest. And that was on one of my bucket lists. I told my wife, I said, I came back from practice one day that I said I can write this off on. I can add it to it that I pitched BP to a priest. So, he was
To other people, that sounds insane.
What's that?
To other people, that sounds insane. To St. John's, it's just Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, he loves to be around the sport. If you go to football games, he's catching punts from the punter. He'll catch their balls, kickoffs. He'll catch the balls. He's a kid in the candy shop when he's out there all dressed up in his priest gear, and then being able to be on the ball diamond at 717 Credit Union Park, and then throwing.
You can say Canal Park. They're not paying you.
Okay. Yeah. But just seeing him out there with the kids. In fact, I wanted to throw with him. I think a lot of Father Hunyer, but there was too much going on in pregame. I couldn't get out there to throw, but I'm sure it was neat to all the fans and spectators to watch a priest throw 100-yard slings and loving it, and his smile on his face, I'm sure it made his day being out there on the field.
Yeah, there's not often times that you look down in left field and you see a priest with a St. John's cap on out there just throwing darts. I actually figured that you didn't go out there and throw them because you just didn't want to embarrass the boys when you're out there just throwing darts.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Let them have their moment.
Right. And I don't want to throw too much because I do throw a lot of our batting cages. So I just save my arm for those moments. But that would have been fun. And I know some of those, even our assistant coaches, they went out and threw because they used to be former players for me. So they wanted to be out there just as much as our players.
How many of the guys do you look at on this crew? Because you kind of opened the door. I've just a couple things, but that you look at and go, all right, maybe they're going to come back and coach.
I don't really think a lot about that. It's just, they know what their future is. And some of them, even after leaving high school, after about 3 or 4 years, they're away from it long enough to where, I kind of miss this. I need to get back into it. So it's more of for them, it's just, if they got enough free time and their work schedule allows it, I'll take anybody that wants to help coach. We always are looking for good guys. What's that?
Especially if they work for free.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
And I would say too, with I forgot to mention Coach Smith. So he actually just got a teaching job too at Delphi St. John's. So we're going to see a lot more of his face too with our baseball program. And as he's our head JV coach now, and he traveled with us, and he actually spent hours and hours of making our scouting reports for every team. He'd go through stats on Game Changer, give us spray charts, averages, numbers of pitching, ERA, everything like that. So he spent countless hours for us to help prepare us for every single game. But he's for sure dove deep into the program, and now being at St. John's teaching, we'll see even more of him.
Well, I have enjoyed getting to talk to you guys, getting to watch your team, especially this weekend. What's the one lasting memory outside of the title itself that each one of you guys are going to have about either this weekend or about this season?
I'll let Tyce go first on that one.
Could you re-say the question? Sorry.
Outside of the championship itself, bringing home the trophy, getting to see the toilet papering and everybody going nuts for you, what's the one kind of lasting memory that you'll take away from this year?
Oh, boy. That's a great question. I would honestly just say the family aspect we've built is the biggest thing that I'm going to take away from this season. And honestly, the last 4 years, taking the step over to St. John's in 7th grade was tough for me and my family as I live in Van Wert, but I knew they were very welcoming to me from day one. And I knew a lot of those guys, but to grow close to with them, and they're like brothers to me now. And so actually everything, I wore a shirt today that says "Together" on it. It's our motto for both basketball and baseball. And knowing that they'll always have my back and I'm always going to have theirs, no matter if we're in high school or not. Even graduated, we still talk almost every day.
Oh, baby.
So, I mean, it's awesome, but I would just say the family aspect is the biggest thing to take away.
I'd imagine that's the same for you, Jerry.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to miss the 9 seniors. they're the ones that obviously started out in junior high in our baseball program. I think back when they were all seventh graders, there was probably 17 guys that played baseball. For 9 of them to finish their career playing at St. John's is a great accomplishment. They won out winners, and those seniors are going to be greatly missed. And all of them are all competitive, and I know that some of them are going to go to the next level and keep playing a sport, but I will miss those seniors.
Well, I know that you have quite a time coming up before you go to golf, and Tyce probably does pretty well. I hope you enjoy the beach. I hope the vacation treats you both well, and I can't say thank you enough, and congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
There you go. A look at Salva St. John's baseball state champs